take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Friday show, February 7th, 2025. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports. Over 79,000 subscribers on this platform. If you're watching on X, we say good afternoon to you. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
I was trying to figure out what was going on with my aesthetic. It looked a little bit off, and I realized my laptop.
No computer.
Well, yeah, it's down there. I'll wait till the first commercial break and put that there. But feeling good, man. That's 2 weeks, so that's 5 days. That's 10 days in a row working out. So feeling good, feeling healthy, and family's doing good. It's a beautiful day. The sun came out for you, man.
Hell yeah.
So I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be with you guys, and shout out to KG, man. We're going to have fun this one, man. We're going to have fun on this one.
Well, that makes one of us. You're feeling good. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, brother, it's a Super Friday. Come on.
It is.
Now,
It
usually
is.
I would be just can't wait till Sunday. And now I'm like, oh, well, all right. Oh, well. It's the first time I've ever felt this way about a Super Bowl.
It's funny you say that. And let me introduce Pete Spivak, Ricky Burns. KG is in the house with us as well. Before I get to that, today is a first for me. Today is the first day I ever called out at Fox 2 and came here.
Thank you.
What a mess last night. My little guy
How Fox take it?
was throwing up. Oh, they're great.
Okay.
They're great.
Good.
They're fantastic people.
Okay.
My little guy was throwing up from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m. and then again at 12 p.m. Let me tell you, this effing kid. Okay? Let me tell you.
Take your time, brother.
Listen, this effing kid never one time could get it in the toilet.
Oh, man.
In the bed. In the carpet in the bedroom, in the hallway, in the kitchen, in the living room, everywhere. There's a bucket. There is a bucket.
He has
And
multiple
then
options.
ultimately, we got towels everywhere. We're lining the floors with
missed all
towels.
those, too.
Everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, buddy, what do we have to do?
Man.
And this poor kid, and then you're just so sweet with him, buddy. You're like, he's like, thanks for supporting me. I'm like, I want to kill you. What am I gonna do?
He was
But
getting Ben Simmons on, man.
I was up till 6 a.m. I just couldn't do it. But today's a first. But
We're glad to have you.
yeah, I wanted to be here
Get
today
well,
too.
brother.
So get well, buddy, if you're watching, which he's not.
He's
But nonetheless,
asleep. Strong
Maz, it's
meeting.
funny you say that. Braylon, I want to ask you, as we got closer to the Super Bowl, and today is Friday before the Super Bowl. As we got closer to the Super Bowl, I thought I would get a little bit more interested in the Super Bowl. I thought I'd start feeling some emotion about looking forward to it. I talked to about 6 people today, all about how uninterested they were in this Super Bowl without being provoked by me. Everybody says, oh, Super Bowl's this week. Yeah, how you feeling about it? I couldn't care less. Who you got? I don't care. Literally, all 6 people that I spoke with today about this game didn't care about it and couldn't care less who wins. Had no I'm rooting for Philly or I'm rooting for Mahomes and the Chiefs to do it. I'm shocked by that a little bit.
You know what I think? For the last 2 weeks, I just assumed because the Lions were so close, because we thought the Lions could be a team to win the Super Bowl or at least make it to the Super Bowl, I thought the disappointment of them losing to the Commanders was, all right, cool. They're out. Man, this is some BS. I don't care who's in it. I don't think that's what it is anymore as a Lions fan. I just think it's the 2 teams that are in it are detested. You detest the Kansas City Chiefs because you believe you're tired of Travis Kelce, you're tired of Taylor Swift, you're tired of Mahomes complaining, you're tired of the refs helping, or you hate the Philadelphia Eagles because you hate Nick Sirianni, you don't think Jalen Hurts is that good of a quarterback, you think it's going to be a boring Super Bowl, you're not really a fan of Philly. They got detestable fans, the worst fan base if you're in opposition in sports. So I think that's the 2 teams you have, and I think because of that, it's like, not to mention they did this 2 years ago. We saw the same Super Bowl with the same team, the same quarterback. So I think that's it. You don't want the Chiefs. You're tired of the Chiefs. And the Eagles are You hate the coach. You hate the quarterback.
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Okay.
I think the Lions, I know I can speak for myself, they gutted me. The Lions have gutted us. They have. We're going to talk to Bill Keenest. Worked for the Lions for 30-plus years. NFL, PR guy, one of the best in the biz. Said the same thing to me. I went and picked up pizza on my way in today. I wanted to get KG a slice for his last day. 2 guys were in there. Out of the blue, I'm like, hey, guys, what's going on? We're just waiting for this young kid to get our pizza. Took really long to get 3 slices of pizza, by the way.
It's fine.
Anyway, we're just chatting. Hey, man, it's Super Bowl. Yeah, don't care. How about you? No. Got Super Bowl squares? No, don't even care. Lions. And then they go into the whole thing. 15 wins. And they did that. They crapped on us. They did. You think they feel bad? We feel worse than them. We feel worse than them. And Bray, you're a player, so maybe I'm talking out of school.
No,
here.
you know what? Don't bring me into this because I don't want to have a back and forth. At the end of the day, you deserve to feel like that.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
you're right.
They gutted me. They ruined me.
See, that's growth
Remember,
right
all
there.
year I've been telling you.
It's growth.
They've ruined me for watching football because I'm not interested in watching anyone else anymore. Before, I was like, great, I'll watch any game that was on. I was locked and loaded. Now I have it on basically as background noise. And it's Super Sunday. I will not watch 1 second of any pregame. Not 1 second. My wife, that's all she wants to watch.
Man, can I ask you a quick question?
Please.
What if the teams were different? What if this
No.
What if this was the Bills and
No.
Commanders?
I don't care.
Lamar Jackson's Ravens and Commanders.
I don't care.
Okay.
Honestly.
That would do it. That
would do a little something for
That
you?
would do
Hey,
a little
look, if
something.
the Giants or Jets were in it, I'd be excited.
Well, listen, this is not a Detroit-centric thing.
No, not at all.
Okay, because, and I got to give Jeff Reviews credit in the chat. The price is now $3K to get into the Super Bowl. I am looking on StubHub
what?
on the secondary market. I see tickets for $2,638
To sit where?
in the upstairs, but that same ticket was $7,500 last year.
I was about to say that sounds cheap for a Super Bowl.
Ricky, that
Yeah.
same the get-in price for the Super
Yeah.
Bowl last year. Get-in price was $7,500
Yeah.
for the Super Bowl last
Yeah.
year. The get-in price for the Super Bowl this year is $2,600. $2,600. If you think about that, the price to get in to the divisional round game for a lot of different seats at Ford Field was over $2,600. And that is just Detroit. I mean, think about the entire NFL world. Even if you don't care about the NFL, the Super Bowl is the preeminent sporting event in the country.
And it's history.
In history. And you've got advertisers and businesses and corporations and everywhere. Oh, let's go to the Super Bowl. $2,600? There is no demand for this game.
No, you're 100% correct. You know, the only thing that I was going to say in terms of comparing it to last year's Super Bowl, the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are the best 2 teams of the last 10 years. You can maybe even say 12 years. They're the best 2 teams. So the fact that they got a chance when both teams were at their peak, Christian McCaffrey and what he did last year, they were ready to go against a Kansas City Chiefs team that had gone and won. This was their back-to-back. So I think because of the intrigue in that game, those numbers were astronomical. But, yeah, you're absolutely correct, though. People don't want to see this.
This is a game that I love. This is my holiday. It was always my holiday. Super Bowl V was my first Super Bowl that I actually remember watching.
Jesus Christ.
Super Bowl V, Colts, Cowboys. Couldn't wait to get home from
Cowboys,
church because they were kicking it off at 1 o'clock. We went to noon mass. I'll remember it. I remember that day. And I've been in love with football since that year. Never miss a game. Never, ever missed a playoff game. The Super Bowl was it, man. I'm the guy that's like, man, we need Mondays off. Super Monday. Eventually it's going to come. It's going to come, for President's Weekend. But if I was a president, the first thing I would have done was make Monday a holiday after the Super Bowl. But this game it's meaningless to me, except that I just want to win my squares. I probably have about $300 invested in squares. And I promised myself I'd only be $100 this year. And I went overboard again.
What about the Puppy Bowl? You gonna watch the Puppy
No,
Bowl?
I'm not going to watch the Puppy Bowl.
Puppy
My kids
Bowl.
would like to watch it, but again, I got 2 in college.
It's cute.
1 will be home. It's a different way to watch the games now. And I never go to parties, ever. I went to 1 Super Bowl party when I worked for a radio station. I had to do it. Other than that was a Tennessee Rams game. Other than that, I've been home for every single game. I don't invite anyone over. Sorry. Grandma comes over. She sits. She just watches the commercials. But the more and more I'm watching football, my family is loving football even more. But the Lions, yeah, they ruined it. They really did. They ruined it.
Can I ask a dumb question? And I'm talking about NFL fans and not just Lions fans, because I understand where Lions fans may be less interested in this game. And I think this is accurate, by the way. Has the Taylor Swift effect really ruined the greatness of the Kansas City Chiefs? And I say that without trying to be cute. And I know that has been a big conversation over the years, really, about people sick about Taylor Swift and this, that, and the other thing. Has the focus of Taylor Swift really kind of hindered the greatness of the Kansas City Chiefs? Because I do believe a majority of NFL fans, not little girls and all that stuff, even my daughter to some extent is so excited for the Taylor Swift game. And, you know what I mean? Yeah. She's gonna get to see Taylor Swift.
I was down there to see,
and it's sick. It sickens me.
We don't want to see her.
I don't want to see her.
As much as I like her, I don't want to see her.
In 2010, I was down at the Super Bowl. Super Bowl was in Miami, and it was with it sucked. We had just lost to the Colts. I really thought I was supposed to be in it, but it's the Colts. It's the Saints. This is the infamous onside kick, 100%. Reggie Bush was the running back on that team. Reggie Bush was dating somebody that was pretty big at the time for her.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
All you heard about leading up to the Super Bowl was Kim Kardashian. Then I was in Miami the whole Super Bowl week. Everything was Kim Kardashian and Reggie Bush. Kim Kardashian and Reggie Bush. Like, I got to the point where I did not want the Saints to win. And Reggie's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like, Reggie's a friend of mine. Like, legitimately, I was with Reggie the night before he got drafted. And all that stuff was going on with the Heisman Trophy and stuff. I'm literally a friend of Reggie. I didn't want the Saints to win. It was annoying. And then after the game, I'll never forget, they interviewed Reggie. They interviewed Kim Kardashian. She got the first question. Man just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
First question, I can't remember who was the interviewer for Fox or CBS, whatever it was. First question went to Kim Kardashian. Yes, to your point, 100% right. It is annoying. She is annoying. She's everywhere. The game should be about the game, but yet the question is Travis Kelce going to pop the question if they win the Super Bowl?
That's the question when it comes to Kelce. Not is Kelce the greatest tight end to ever play the game.
Is he going to pop the question?
You know, and then it becomes a lot of political stuff because then you got Taylor Swift endorsing one candidate, and you've got Mahomes and
Pfizer and Travis Kelce,
what's his wife's name? Brittany on the other side.
And so the kicker, you got the kicker.
Butker. Ooh, he's a wild one.
But at least he's just him.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with
Let me not
wives.
Get it going because that's Anson's guy. I'm sorry,
right.
Anson.
But at least it's got nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like it has something to do with the individual player. But I don't know. I couldn't care less about the Taylor Swift thing. I think it does take away from the greatness of Travis Kelce. Yeah. People talk about their relationship and not if he's the greatest tight end to ever play the game. And I think the refs play a factor too. Here is Roger Goodell at the press conference this week talking about if the refs, and again, this was a question to the commissioner of the NFL on if the referees are favoring the Kansas City Chiefs.
Officiating has favored the Chiefs, not my perception, public perception. How much of a concern is that for you in the league?
Well, this sort of reminds me a little bit of the script, right? That I write a script, and I have the script for the entire season. Listen, I think from a lot of those theories are things that happen in social media, and they get a new life. As you say, it's not your theory, but it's out there. Nobody wants it to be their theory. And so I understand that. I think it reflects a lot of the fans' passion. And I think it also is a reminder for us how important officiating is. And I think the men and women that officiate in the NFL are outstanding. They have the highest possible standards. That's ridiculous theory for anyone who might take it seriously. But at the end of the day, it's something we always have to continue to work on. How do we make our officiating better at all times? And if you look at the Chiefs' record, which I think is an amazing thing, people talk about the competitiveness of our league. The Chiefs, with their 15 wins, 15-2 this year, 11 of those 15 games were within one score. And I think that talks about the competitiveness of our game and the importance of how we officiate it, but also the competitiveness of how we play it.
That is the point. You're not supposed to win every one-score game you play. And when you do, there are plays,
It looks fishy.
3 or 4 plays per game. Maybe it's one play per game that makes all the difference. And when you get every call leading up to that one play, it's amazing how different a game can be, Braylon Edwards.
Let me ask you a question before I dive into Roger Goodell, who, like, to be honest, when I first looked, I was like, and I don't mean this in a political way at all. Like, he looked like he could be related to Trump. Like, I like popped my head up for a quick. So I was like, oh, okay, it's probably a family member. 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, the Minnesota Vikings, they won 11 out of 11 in one-score games. Nobody complained about referees' calls. Nobody complained about anything. It just was, it happened. It can't happen again. It won't happen the following season. Is it because it's the Chiefs and it's the refs and the storyline and that more so than the potential for it to be true?
Yes,
because it happened 2 years ago.
I think that's a great point about the Minnesota Vikings. The only thing is,
no one cared about them.
It was a one-season deal.
Yeah,
I think the next year they lost like.
They didn't make the playoffs next year.
Right, exactly. And they lost like something crazy, like 9 one-score games.
Yeah.
So you didn't analyze it as much.
This is true.
It wasn't it just simply wasn't analyzed. And the spread, by the way, is down to 1. Started at 2, then it went to 1.5. Now it's at 1, which means money is coming in on the Eagles. But
It's a pick'em game.
It is.
It was a 3-point game the first time. It'll probably be a 3-point game this time. Now, who you picking? There you go. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's a well-played game. The over-under is 48. When the last game they played against each other, it was over 70. So,
I think the fourth quarter had like 35 points or something crazy like that.
That's right. It was late. But if I had to pick an MVP in this game, I would pick Jalen Hurts to be the MVP of this game.
There you go, man. Caring about the Super Bowl.
I really believe that, I'm trying to get excited for it. I will say this. I have not read one single thing about this game this week because I have zero interest. I don't care. I've seen these teams enough to know what they're going to bring. I hope it's a great game. I think it will be. I hope Philly wins. Stop the three-peat. So they don't have to pay poor Pat Riley.
Yeah, did you see he made the deal?
I'm glad you brought up Jalen Hurts. I want to ask a question. I saw this question earlier, and I thought it was an interesting question. I want everybody to, you can take a second and give your opinion. Who gets more hate? And which person gets more hate? Is that how I phrased it in the chat?
Who gets more disrespected?
Which person gets more disrespect? Is it Jalen Hurts or is it Nick Sirianni? And I'll start with you, Ryan. And Nick Sirianni,
it's easy.
You got a guy that's 48-20.
It's easy.
And Jalen Hurts, you got a guy that's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years.
I think it's a great question. It's Nick Sirianni. I don't think this guy gets any respect whatsoever. When you talk about the best coaches in the league, his name is not in the top 10. You don't even mention him. And that's a mistake. If you're a coach, we saw how hard it is to get to an NFC championship game. When you're the coach and you get to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, when you win at the clip that he wins at, that's not because you suck as a coach. That's because you're a damn good coach. And we saw the interaction on the sideline where the defensive line coach wouldn't let him get to Jalen Carter. We saw the beef between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And you kind of, when these things happen on the sidelines, you go right to the leader because that stuff is handled behind closed doors with a strong leader.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just how it is in Philly. That's the environment that they live in there. Anybody that knows anything about the East Coast, like both you guys do, you played in New York.
It's a tough effing place.
If you ain't pushing and shoving, if you ain't yelling at your family members, you don't love each other.
You're not breathing, and you don't love each other. 100%.
Right? So maybe that's just culturally something that we have a hard time accepting. But the answer to your question to me is Nick Sirianni.
Agreed, and I could even go further. You like Nick Sirianni. I compared him to a fan that won a contest to coach a team. That's the kind of guy he looks like. Hey, come on down off the field. Come on, you want to coach these guys? Yeah, okay, good. and he's yelling, he's running up and down, he's yelling at the fans, he's screaming, he's having fun.
Like Vinny, Peppa, whatever.
He's having fun.
Like, what's that movie?
My cousin Vinny. Who?
No, where the Eagles tryout.
Vince Papale.
Yeah, Vince Papale.
Yeah. Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
I got you back. I just took me.
Anyway, to even further say that we disrespect Nick Sirianni, I'll say, well, he had a pretty good guy build a team for him in Howie Roseman. He had a good guy build a team for him in Howie Roseman. But he's coaching him up. And that coach that pushed him away is probably his good friend. I got this, Nick. Get out of here. I got this. It is Nick Sirianni by a long shot, by a big margin.
Pete, what you got to say about that, man? Jump in.
I was doing some work, so I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you asking.
Hey, I got to check on you every once in a while.
No, I appreciate you, my friend.
Ricky, go ahead and give
I
me your
agree
take.
for one of the reasons Ryan said is that they've been winning so much, and whenever you think of coaches and top coaches, his name is never brought. Like, no one ever puts him on any type of graphic or anything. So I agree, it's the coach.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be you can count me in on that too. As Nick Sirianni, everybody said the same thing. I think the reason why Jalen Hurts or the conversation ever gets negative as it relates to Jalen Hurts is you want to see his stats comparable to Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and I guess Matt Stafford and the numbers that Jared Goff put up too this year. Joe Burrow, like you want to see that when you consider the money that he's making. Consider he's been to 2 Super Bowls. Consider that his name is one you know. But it doesn't deserve to be in that. So I think therein lies the conversation. But he gets valued as he is, I think. Like I think he's valued for the things he does. He does not turn the ball over. He throws it if he has to, if you will. He leans into the running game and the offensive line. He operates efficiently for that offense, and that's why it's work. But it's Nick Sirianni. Like literally when you talk about them, you talk about Howie Roseman, and then you start talking about how good the talent is on the team. You completely miss the middleman, the head coach.
And Howie Roseman, you speak about him. I mean, what a general manager this guy is. And this guy...
he's the equal to Brad Holmes or better.
I mean, he's better because he's been to 2 Super Bowls and he's made big acquisitions.
3.
Through trade, through draft, through...
3 Super Bowls.
3 Super Bowls. You're absolutely right about that. He won a Super Bowl in 2017.
1-1 right now.
Longtime general manager for Philadelphia. And if you really follow his story, it's really a unique story. I mean, when he was in high school, he wrote letters to every NFL team about wanting to get a job with that NFL team and linked up Mike Tannenbaum. Mike Tannenbaum was like, okay, kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never knew
his
that.
story is so incredible.
We should have had Mike on.
And
Mike T.
kind of linked up with Mike Tannenbaum, and the two got together, and then he got a job in Philadelphia as a low-level front office intern, and then he worked himself up from intern to the 2-time Executive of the Year, building Super Bowl championship teams.
Gotta love it.
And that's something.
That's fabulous.
It's a story.
That's a story. That's a story. I was talking about the story.
Brad
That's a
Holmes,
good
an
story.
enterprise rent-a-car. Worked his way up, right?
Remind me off air to tell your story. Just remind me.
nothing
All
you
you
can say
remind me.
on the air?
I cannot say it on the air. It's about Mike Tannenbaum, but just remind me off air.
Oh, my gosh.
It makes sense why I got cut.
No kidding.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, gosh. I want to hear that story.
Or not cut, but
If this game is close, do you find yourself in just going back to who you want to win the game? Let's say the Chiefs are down 4 points with 1.5 minutes to go. Will you want Mahomes to lead them to a win? If the Eagles are down 4 points with a 1.5 minutes to go, will you be rooting for them to make the play? I feel like
I got my answer.
that is kind of going to be how I approach this game.
I like that.
Your
mind messed me with that one.
I think going back and forth because I am such a big Patrick Mahomes guy. I love greatness. And we are witnessing great. I hate to poo-poo greatness. I hate to do it. And I find myself doing it to him for whatever reason. And I love the guy. And I think it's because of the Taylor Swift thing. And I think it's
kids.
I think it's because yes, of course. And I think it's because the refs and all that stuff. But in that situation, even if I want Philly to win going into the game, Mahomes has the ball at the 20-yard line with 1.5 minutes to go and 1 timeout. I'm going to be rooting for Patrick Mahomes to get his team into the end zone and win that game.
when you put it like that, you completely mind F me because you're absolutely correct. Like, how many times do we sit around and do we tell tales of, tell-tales? How old am I? How many times do we sit around, we tell stories about, man, remember that time Joe Flacco, man, remember he went down there with 4 minutes left as the Ravens beat the 4. You don't talk about him. You don't talk about Trent Dilfer. Even Drew Brees. In that game, you don't mention Drew Brees. What do you mention? The onside kick. But when you got Joe Montana, how many times have you talked about Joe Montana and the plays? Brady, how many times have you talked about, well, I mean, it was Edelman, but how many times have you talked about what Brady had to do when coming back or Vinatieri? Like, you want those plays to happen. We don't talk about the one-off champion. I haven't talked about Giannis' 50-point game in Game 7 since he had that game. Meanwhile, the Lakers three-peat, I talked about that 2 days ago with my boy Max. Like, you want greatness. You're absolutely correct. Because in that moment, I want to see Mahomes. Because I want the story. Man, did you see, remember that? And how ankle was messed up. He limped forward, got those 12 yards, threw the ball to kid. And
then when you're talking to your grandkids,
I'm not mentioning Jalen Hurts and the 4-point comeback. It's Mahomes or Brady or Terry Bradshaw, man.
You're thinking about, all these great things that you've been a part of in sports. Let me tell you the time that Patrick Mahomes led the Kansas City Chiefs down for the three-peat in the final drive of it. You're not going to say that about Hurts. You know what I mean?
You might say that about Jalen, what's his name?
Carter.
Jalen Carter. Remember that time he sacked Mahomes, knocked the ball out of his hands? Remember James Harrison going 100 yards with the fumble?
Oh, that's great.
So, you know what? Yeah. When I start watching the game, my fandom comes out. I can't help it. Yeah. So I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. So if the Chiefs are driving for the win, I'm rooting for Darius Slay to pick it off. I'm rooting for Jalen. Why do I always forget his name?
Jalen Hurts?
No.
Who's CJ?
Jalen Carter. I don't know why. I think it's blocked because we didn't draft him.
Because your mind wanted you to draft him.
I'm just telling you. Once I get going in the game, I don't go back.
Right. All right. Fair enough. Hey, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to get into the NFL awards last night because I did sense a theme in Head Coach of the Year and MVP. Whether you agree or disagree, there was a common theme among them, and and it's not that they're both white. And I see, I see you looking at me. I see you looking at me.
I'm just saying.
I see you looking at me, Bray. But I
feel like there was a snub last night.
The common theme, and I'll tell you what that is. Plus, you'll hear from Malik Neighbors talking about Matthew Stafford. You'll hear from Kelly Stafford talking about Matthew Stafford, and Bill Keenist going into the Hall of Fame. Actually, a longtime Lions employee. He will join us top of hour number 2.
So are 4 other people.
Absolutely. All that and so much more. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Now we have over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations because we want you to get in shape. We want you to come down. There's no judgment. You work out at your own pace. And also, there's a trainer. With every membership that you purchase, you will be afforded a trainer. And then, look, there's no judgment. It's squeaky clean gym. This is also fitness that fits into your budget. We're not trying to hit you over the head. You come down, you can work out, get in shape at a price. See you at Planet Fitness.
Hey, the guys were just talking about the big game this Sunday. Well, the big game requires a big party, and Woodward Sports live watch parties at Hayes Social. Come watch the game with the crew on 3 17-foot TV screens. Baby, that's some big stuff. Book your table today before they're all gone. 586-247-2223. Great food, drink specials, and the best big game party around. Hayes Social at 21 Mile and Hayes Road in Shelby Township. Brought to you by 1800 Tequila, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Soroki Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and New Holland Brewing Company. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Hey, dreaming of a new home but feeling in a financial pinch, guys? Well, Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 in your pocket. Call Mark White & Associates today, 248-290-8242. Visit them online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242, to make your dreams come true.
Hey, let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. We take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Guys, NFL awards last night. And the two big ones locally here. By the way, Ben Johnson won Assistant of the Year, Assistant Coach of the Year award. Congratulations to Ben Johnson, the Lions offense, as creative and as good an offense as you will see in the last 20 years, I think.
That's the last time you'll tell Ben Johnson congratulations.
Yeah, right. In the last 20 years. So congratulations to that. But I think the two big ones that rubbed some people the wrong way, specifically here in Detroit, Kevin O'Connell named Coach of the Year. By the way, he did say that Sam Darnold was their quarterback moving
going forward.
Dan Campbell was second.
Yep.
Is finished second. I thought the winner of that Week 18 game was going to win Coach of the Year. That's not how it happened. I can't believe Dan Quinn only got one vote for the Washington Commanders. Yeah. But Kevin O'Connell wins Coach of the Year. And then Josh Allen wins MVP. Lamar was second. Jared Goff was fifth. Now,
Lamar had two already. That's why they did this.
Let's be honest about this. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of the league every year. Just like Michael Jordan was the MVP of the league every year. And they give it to other people.
Or LeBron.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Or LeBron. Let's start with that premise.
I have no problem with that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of the league. Take him off the Chiefs. I don't even know if they're a playoff team, let alone the first ever three-peat team ever. The Minnesota Vikings had an over-under win total of, I think, seven and a half this year. I think the Buffalo Bills had a win total 7.5.
They were higher, didn't they?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Eight and a half.
9.
Nobody expected Buffalo to be better without Stephon Diggs this year, did they?
Right.
We didn't even have him. Nobody here had him in the playoffs, did they?
No.
When we did our preseason rankings,
We thought they'd fall.
so it was Minnesota overachieving. It was Buffalo overachieving, and I think that's why those two players got those awards, because these were 500 type teams that was their projection. Does Buffalo have any talent whatsoever compared to Lamar Jackson having Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews?
Buffalo has a lot more talent than people say. Like, they act like Buffalo's bums. James Cook's one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Nobody
right
said that
now.
before the season is what I'm saying. And Derrick Henry, would he get? I'm just giving an excuse.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you,
I got you.
what my general theme was. They took middle of the road teams in Minnesota and Buffalo who completely overachieved in a lot of people's minds, and those were the two winners of the biggest awards. That's how I see it.
I'll start with the MVP. For me, I think the MVP is exactly what Maz said. I think it's because Lamar already had two, and frankly put, head-to-head, who won in the playoffs? Josh Allen beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. If this award was given before that game, Lamar Jackson would have won it. The award is given after that game. Lamar Jackson lost, and he deserves to based on that look. You allowed the media to see Josh Allen beat you. For whatever the numbers were during the season, it didn't matter in that moment. Josh Allen won, and another reason why he got the award, Josh Allen has been an elite-level quarterback for the last 7 years. It's like, you know what? This is a totality award. It's what you've done in the playoffs. It's what you've been in the regular season. It's all the touchdowns. It's all the things. We're going to reward you with this one because you made it easy. You beat Lamar in the playoffs. Lamar wins the playoffs. He's the award winner. Josh won in the playoffs. He won, and I have no problem with it. Lamar, don't fumble the ball. Don't throw the interception. You put yourself in this position. Josh Allen won. Josh Allen gets the award. I don't have a problem with it.
I'm pretty sure they vote before the playoffs. So let's just say that. Are you still okay?
Yeah, I'm still okay.
Me too.
I'm still okay.
I think it's a dead heat.
I'm cool with it.
I think if it's a horse race, it's called the dead heat at the wire. Both touch the wire together. One guy won it twice. They gave it to the other guy. They threw him a crumb. So Josh Allen was an MVP. Lamar Jackson is an MVP.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
Yeah,
and Mahomes.
That one doesn't bother me. I truly believe Sam Darnold got him Coach of the Year, though. I think that's more of a bigger equation than anything else.
Sam Darnold wasn't even, he was supposed to be a backup.
Right.
Like last year, Sam Darnold was a backup. This year, he was
the man.
They got waxed, but they were a game away from being the number one seed in the NFC. You're absolutely right.
So
Sam Darnold got him.
Sam Darnold's Coach of the Year.
And that's why. What did you say he said on the podium?
Sam Darnold's our quarterback.
Yeah, he had to.
100%. Out.
You're either driving up the price for J.J. McCarthy in a potential trade, or you really believe that you can win with Sam Darnold, and maybe he does.
Right.
Do you believe he can?
I don't think so.
Yeah, those last two games are very magnifying.
If you look at the quarterbacks and the teams, you need somebody special. You know, you need a Patrick Mahomes. You need a Josh Allen. You need a Lamar Jackson. You need a Joe Burrow. You need a Jalen Hurts. You need somebody special.
I don't want to disrespect. I don't want to disrespect our defense, but Sam Darnold couldn't beat that Detroit Lion defense. Let's call a spade a spade. What that defense was, I don't care what the score says. That defense was not good based on the injuries that have piled up. He couldn't beat that defense. He can't be my guy.
Dan Campbell was.
This was a robbery.
Yeah, Dan's never going to win.
This was a robbery.
Yeah.
He won 15 games. He took a 3-win team. He won 9, and then he won 12, and then he won 15. What more do you want? That's Coach of the Year. That's the guy that the NFL puts out in all their commercials. He's the guy that's showing his locker room speeches. They're not showing anybody else's but his.
Yeah.
He's the Coach of the Year. He got robbed.
That's why
100%.
I don't think these awards are voted for before the. I know what they tell us. I know what they tell us, man.
So why would Kevin get it? They lost too.
Because he lost. But Dan Campbell wasn't supposed to lose to the Commanders. The Lions weren't supposed to lose to the Commanders at home after we've set it up to help you guys along, and we've cheered for you to be the team, the franchise of the future in the NFC. They weren't supposed to lose to the Commanders. If this was regular season, fresh off a Vikings win and 15 wins, I guarantee you. But it's the fact that they lost to the Commanders when they weren't supposed to. I guarantee you these awards aren't voted for beforehand. But it's
fair enough.
I still think he got robbed.
Fair enough. Let's move on.
I agree.
Let's move on to the Hall of Fame. I think it was almost a bigger story of who didn't get in.
Yeah.
Eli Manning did not get in. Jared Allen, Sterling Sharp, Eric Allen, and Antonio Gates did. So there wasn't even
Antonio
5
Gates?
guys in.
Nope.
Eli's not getting in next year either. Do you see the list next year?
It's something.
If it's only 5 that can go in, if that's the rule, Eli's not getting in next year either. I have no problem with any of these guys that got in. They are all Hall of Famers.
Why didn't they pick 5? I'm confused.
Now, let me ask you something about Sterling Sharp. As much as I liked him, is he really a Hall of Fame guy?
If Sterling Sharp is a Hall of Famer, Herman Moore is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. I think he's a secondary guy. Bray, you can bring his numbers up.
So do me a favor.
crazy.
I already know the numbers.
He broke our heart. I know that.
I know the numbers for his 8-year career. It's like 6 All-Pros, it's 8 Pro Bowls. It's stupid. Or 7 Pro Bowls. It's dumb. Yesterday, the conversation I said was the Hall of Fame is political. It is political. Put those names back up there.
You got it,
please,
buddy.
if you could.
You got it, buddy.
Eric Allen played for what team? Majorly, do you remember him from?
Raiders.
The Raiders and the Eagles. Who's in the Super Bowl? It's the Eagles. Sterling Sharp. Shannon Sharp is on ESPN on the daily talking about who the best football player is in his family. Sterling Sharp. That's his brother that got him in. Jared Allen, go figure. He deserves to be in. But those two for sure, it's a political deal. And they got those in. I'm glad Gates got in, though. Shout out to Central High School finest.
I'm looking at all-time wide receiver yards right now. I just maybe I'm skimming over Sterling Sharp.
He's way down.
He's not even on there?
I mean,
but you can't look at all-time yards. You have to look at what he did in his window. It's the
He had 4 solid years, but no 2000s.
6.
No 2000s. 15 or less. 1,500, maybe 1,300 might have been his
Shannon Sharp.
1,600, 1,500, 1,700, and then it was like 11. Like all I said was it was a short window. We let Terrell Davis in the Hall of Fame, and he had 2002 Super Bowl. So let me not do that.
Golden Tate had more receiving yards than Sterling Sharp.
Wow. I forgot about Golden Tate.
Robert Woods, Jordy Nelson.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so here's Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year career.
I told you.
And we
short.
complained about 9 years for Calvin Johnson. Oh my gosh! Never missed a game. Never missed a game.
Never happens.
Iron Man.
Right.
Like
Only 2 years he's caught over 100 passes.
Okay.
1,400
I see
yards.
what you're saying, Braylon.
Go ahead, read his numbers.
You got it. Yeah, you can't just. Yeah, okay.
Look.
Read
Because
his
that's
numbers.
crazy.
Look,
If he didn't even
but do
have
this
100
for
catches.
me. Do this for me because you're not doing it right. Like,
How do we do it?
I'm not arguing that he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you're gonna do it right. You have to look at the time and measure that. You have to measure how in those 7 years, what was his average in game? What was his average receptions this season? The man has what? How many touchdowns?
He has 65 touchdowns.
65 touchdowns in 7 years.
65 touchdowns in 7
With
years.
less than 100
I
catches
said he's a
season?
good ball player.
Like, he got more touchdowns than Calvin almost.
I just don't think he's a Hall of Fame guy.
No, I know. I was just saying how you equate it. No, the time.
I think that Herman Moore, in that same time span, is a better wide receiver.
Won't got an argument from me.
Herman Moore, most catches he's at 123 catches in a season, 112 for Sterling Sharp. Most yards in a season, 1,461. 1686 for Herman Moore.
All right, if you guys want to play that game, don't forget who the running back was that Herman Moore played with.
Bam.
You can catch a lot of passes.
Okay, then don't forget about the quarterback.
Brett Perriman had 108 yards too. 108 catches too.
All right, if that's-
Brett Perriman had 1,500 yards. Is Brett Perriman better than Herman Moore?
If that's the case, then you got to consider who the quarterback was for Sterling Sharp and a Hall of Famer and Brett Favre.
Yes.
Brett Favre didn't even get to Green Bay until '93.
No.
89, I thought.
No, it's not 89. Deion got drafted in 89. Brett got drafted in 91.
Okay, well, in those years where Brett Favre was not there, 55 catches.
Yeah, 1,400. Say that next one. 1,100.
Well, you didn't let me finish.
I'm just saying.
55 catches, 791. 90 catches, 1,423.
12 touchdowns.
In 67 catches and 69 catches in back-to-back years. 6 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Brett Favre gets there. And I don't know. I'm just looking at the two. I wish I could put the numbers on the screen for you. I didn't. even considers. I had no idea that Sterling Sharp only played 7 years.
Yeah.
If Sterling Sharp's a Hall of Famer, Herman Moore is absolutely a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
All right, well, give the Green Bay Packers Barry Sanders.
Okay, and then give
us
Detroit
Brett
Lions
Favre.
Brett Favre.
But I'm cool with that because if a team, hear me out. If a team is a passing team, coming to that game as a defensive coordinator, you know what this team does. You know what they're going to do. So you're going to be dialed into the passing game. It's much harder trying to have a great yarn receiving when you don't have a running back. That's what I'm saying. When you have a running back, it makes it that much easier. Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time. You had three receivers get over 1,000 yards with Barry Sanders as your running back. That's all I'm saying.
Scott Mitchell as your quarterback.
But Barry Sanders makes up for Scott Mitchell, man. It's Barry Sanders.
Okay.
Why you hate Herman Moore so much?
I don't. First of all, it's my bitch. I went to his camp as a kid.
Packers had good running backs.
Because I'm a wide
Packers
receiver,
had
and I know
excellent
who's a
running
better
backs.
wide receiver.
Dorsey Levens, Edgar Bennett.
I
They
know
had a
who's
lot
a
of
better
good
wide
receivers.
receiver, just in my wide receiver
I'm
opinion.
just telling you, Green Bay had great
But
running
they didn't
backs
have
too.
Barry Sanders.
Nobody did.
It makes it easier. Shoot, freaking what's the wide receiver from Virginia? He had 1,500 yards. Crowell had 1,200 yards with Barry Sanders.
Ryan, here you go.
So this is Sterling Sharp's numbers.
Receiving only.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
I will say this: if he gets in, Antonio Brown just might get in.
Well, seriously.
You probably should.
Best receivers in the 90s. I'm just looking at
Chris
that. How about
Carter,
that?
Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, Andre Rison,
Herman.
and Andre Reed, Herman Moore,
Tim Brown.
I never liked Tim Brown, but Tim Brown.
Rob Moore.
Rob Moore played for the Cardinals.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Rob Moore. He's got stats. He's what, over 9,000?
9,300 yards.
See, look at that. Boy,
49 touchdowns. Irving Fryer.
Eagles.
Andre Rison, Andre Reed,
Andre
Herman Moore.
Rison's got 81 touchdowns.
I mean, I'm just listing all these players that have better numbers than.
But I told you guys what it was before we started this conversation. It's politics. Shannon Sharp, every day, ESPN.
Say.
Let my brother in the Hall of Fame. Let my brother in the Hall of Fame.
That's why he's in.
I agree. That's exactly what. Now Eli, I'm actually
That's
proud
crazy.
of the Hall
that's
of Fame.
wild.
What? Yeah, give me your take on Eli.
I'm proud of the Hall of Fame. Like, if they want to let Eli in on the 3rd or 4th or 5th, then fine. Let him in because he beat Brady. He won the 2 Super Bowls. But when you talk about a person that played for 17 seasons and he only made the playoffs 5 times, 2 of those times Super Bowl wins. He makes the playoffs 5 times. Like, never was he the best quarterback. Never was he the top 3, 4, 5 quarterback. I don't have a problem with them not letting him in this time around. If he gets in down the line, I don't have a problem with that either because he beat Brady. But first ballot, second ballot, third
I
ballot.
hope he gets in with Vinatieri.
Numbers wise,
Told you, kick is hard.
because the numbers are going to start to get skewed because of the way the game has been played
Changed,
now.
yeah. Right.
You know, I mean, you've got
More games.
hell. Look at Cooper Kupp's numbers. Hell, look at Puka Nakua's numbers.
It's funny.
Look
If
at
you,
Cooper Kupp's numbers in a 7-year period, and then you know what I mean. It's
if you look at wins and stats, and just think about wins and stats, not necessarily Super Bowls. Eli ain't even the best quarterback in his draft class.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, if you want to just talk stats of regular seasons and seeding, he made more playoffs than Eli. And then
Number one,
obviously
though.
we know who was number 11. It was Ben Roethlisberger. He ain't the best quarterback in his draft. So
Yeah.
It's a good draft, though.
Okay, guys, I want to transition over here. We're going to talk to Bill Keenest in about 10 minutes, Lions historian, NFL game rep. I want to get back to this Matthew Stafford story. Let's start with Malik Neighbors, okay? Malik Neighbors telling Matthew Berry that he wants Stafford and Kupp with the New York Giants. Here's Malik Neighbors.
You told our friends over at PFT that you wanted a veteran quarterback in the room, and you tweeted yesterday, let's see, the number 9, the number 10, and the Rams emoji.
Everyone's trying to figure this out in the league. You have the entire radio row trying to solve the riddles here.
Yeah. There's the tweet. Can we ask you about this?
It's a pretty good riddle. I don't know if everybody gonna solve this one.
You don't give it away.
Yeah, I'm not giving it away a lot, but I feel like people know what I'm aiming for.
For sure. What do you, just in general, just overall, what do you like about Matthew Stafford's game?
His arm talent is crazy. His sidearm is crazy. His way he throws the ball, his angles at bro, it's crazy. He knows the defense. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. Yeah. You know, he led that team to the playoffs without those receivers that he was playing with at the beginning of the season. They was hurt, you know. And when he got them back, you know, he was able to, you know, do a lot of great things. I like the way he throw the football.
He's one of these guys that, like, and not, you can't say this about every quarterback in the NFL, but, like, there's not a throw Matthew Stafford can't make.
Exactly.
He can make every throw. He's different. Yeah. As long as we're talking Rams, what do you like about Cooper Kupp's game?
I didn't watch a lot of Cooper Kupp, you know, film, especially when I was in the slot at, you know, LSU.
Yeah.
Just trying to do a lot of options routes. You know, his option route is probably one of the best I've seen. So, you know, having him in a room and I can learn from that, you know, it's always great to learn from the veterans. You know, I got a chance to learn from Allen Robinson when he was there in the spring. So I learned a lot from him. So if I can learn something from Cooper Kupp, I can, you know, exceed with my game, understand a lot. You know, I'm young, so I'm trying to get as much game as possible for, you know, years to come.
He wants a quarterback. Poor guy. I don't blame him either. You know what I mean? You're getting a top, you know, we'll just be loose here. Matthew Stafford is top 6, top 7, top 8 guy in the NFL. I mean, if you're a wide receiver and you don't have a quarterback, your career sucks. You know what I mean? Malik Neighbors has all the talent in the world. He wants a quarterback. God bless him.
I'm just very sad that I didn't play in this era.
Right? Right. The demand and where you're going a little bit.
I play. Yeah, we don't have to go on that. It's not about me.
Woosah, brother. Woosah.
I appreciate that, Ricky. I appreciate that.
Brother, calm down. It's over.
Let me take it down. No, I like this. Look, at the end of the day, man, you got to put some talent around this kid. I love these LSU wide receivers. They speak up. OBJ, Juice Landry, this guy Thomas down there in Jacksonville. You drafted him for a reason. Like, you drafted him based on his playmaking ability. You drafted him because he can get in the end zone, he can score points, and he can help this franchise go in the direction that he wants. You got to get this man a quarterback. You got to give this team and this franchise a quarterback. Like, I don't understand what the New York Giants are doing, but they got to make a move. I don't know if it's this. I don't know if they partake in this. But if you're going to have a wide receiver that's that good, you've already made too many mistakes. You know, and we're watching your biggest mistake this Sunday at 6:30. Like, don't make any more mistakes.
I was at the last game the Giants won, the last game of the regular season. I was in visiting my family. Took Lily, my daughter, and we saw Drew Lock throw for 4 touchdowns that game and run for another one against the Colts, who were going for a playoff. And Malik Neighbors caught two long ones for touchdowns. They really looked great that last week of the regular season. So Drew Lock right now is your starting quarterback.
Didn't they blow
for
it?
the New York Giants?
Because they had the first pick
they
and
had
they
the
blew
first
it.
pick and they blew it. Yeah, they blew it. But the guy he's electric. He's electric. And we talked yesterday about Matthew Stafford. And, hey, Rye, he says he's upset. And, Pete, you can put this up. He's upset that Kupp's on the block. He's upset.
No doubt about it. Matthew Stafford projected to sign that 3-year, $150 million contract extension with $100 million guaranteed. Stafford, $4 million guaranteed over the next 2 years. Vikings, Giants, Steelers expected to have trade interest. Here's Kelly Stafford talking about the possibility of trading Matthew.
I honestly wasn't planning on discussing this, but hell, why not? My husband wants to win. He's not trying to put a team in a bad situation. If you're catching my drift, you're catching my drift. I will say that the trading away of Cooper, I guess I'm just I'm confused because we were one play away from going to the NFC Championship. And I think if we go, we win. I have to be the dog in this situation, being like, I want the respect for him that he deserves. Yes, I love the city of LA. I love the city of LA. With that being said, I love an adventure.
I cannot stand that woman.
And a lot of people can't, but take away that aspect of it and just the Matthew Stafford football side of it for a minute. Yeah, I mean, is there Josh Allen? I'm trying to think of another situation where a quarterback had his wide receiver taken away from him, essentially. His favorite wide receiver taken away.
Patrick Mahomes? That was a little different.
Tyreek Hill, that was different. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Yeah. But Devontae Adams the thing is, all these situations are unique to its own. Devontae Adams wanted to leave. He wanted to get paid.
He wanted to stay, but he didn't know what the hell what Aaron was going to do. Aaron danced around it for 3 years.
Right. So, but again, that's a different situation from just being shipped out, though.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It seems like Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen had a thing where I think Allen maybe wanted him gone.
Cooper Kupp has built a relationship with Matt Stafford that Matt Stafford has become reliant on him. You remember the comments that he made right before the Super Bowl, which I thought were treacherous, but it's Matt Stafford. Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver I've ever played with. Last time I checked, you played with Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, I remember
in
that.
Detroit.
I remember that.
Like, so that's when I started not like. But anyway, Cooper Kupp, he's come to rely on. I told you, Cooper knows his offense just as well as Matthew Cooper knows where to be. He knows how to teach to other wide receivers. There's no secret that Puka Nacua rolls so fast, not only just because of his ability, it's because he's in that room with Cooper Kupp, who knows the offense that he can watch. So Cooper Kupp helped him win a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford ain't going nowhere without Cooper Kupp, and that's why the wives are pissed, because they feel we won a Super Bowl here. Where's the respect?
To me, it's the biggest story this offseason where Matthew Stafford lands, more so than Myles Garrett. And by the way, speaking of Myles Garrett, did you see the updated list of teams that he's being rumored to go to?
Where?
The Lions are not on them.
No.
The Lions are not even on the list of potential suitors for Myles Garrett.
That could be part of the plan.
I don't.
Maybe that's somebody's opinion.
I don't know what that stuff means.
Yeah.
But it was, and I for the life of me, I can't remember, but it was Raiders, Chiefs, Washington, Chicago,
Minnesota.
Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay.
And then Cleveland again.
Not Chiefs.
No.
Ooh.
Chiefs. Chiefs were on the list. Yeah.
They're about to pay Carl off.
Dude, the salary cap is fake.
God,
okay,
you're right.
The salary cap is fake. All this worry about
Fake.
salary cap and stuff like it's all fake. You can make these books.
It's all fake, me,
Go ask.
We figured out the salary cap was fake 2 years ago with the 2 years ago with the 49ers. The salary cap was fake.
Right.
Like everybody on that 49ers team was making $20 million a year or more.
They paid for it this year,
It's
though.
all fake, meatball.
You do pay for it eventually.
Right.
You do pay for it. But you know what? Win me a Super Bowl and get me to 1 or 2, and I'll pay you anything you want.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's a real treat for us. We love talking to this guy, Bill Keenest, Lions historian, NFL game rep. He's actually going into the Hall of Fame, too. So we'll ask him about Herman Moore, Sterling Sharp, what he thinks about that.
Good call.
Well, we'll ask him about Matthew Stafford potentially being on the move, one of his favorite players of all time.
So I don't mind having a conversation.
Absolutely. We'll do all that next, but first a message from Les Stanford.
Honest?
I'm not saying it that way. I'm just saying it's an outside opinion.
GMC. New year, new you. New car. How about it? Les Stanford Buick GMC. How about a 2025 Hummer EV SUV? 24 months, $699 a month, $1999 down. Or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab. 24 months, $359 per month. Sign and drive, no down payment required. GM discount required for both. Get to Les Stanford today or click on the QR code right there, center of your screen. Check out their massive inventory. Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chevy. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Right.
Drive on over to Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. Join him every Tuesday on Big D Energy. He joins us on Thursdays. He's here to keep you in the game, performing at your best. For more information, give him a try. MichiganSportsAndSpine.com, 248-426-9944. Dr. Jeff Pierce.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak, Ricky Burns. KG is here you're a good soldier, KG. Kind of hanging out. KG's got so many responsibilities at the network.
All right, don't hype him up like that.
And he's going to be.
Let him finish. He sits off camera.
He's going to be weaving in and out with us, but his day-to-day responsibilities with us will shift. And we love KG and everything that he's done. And his replacement on our show, Ricky Burns, has already come in and picked it up in 2 days.
I appreciate that, man.
That's good. I mean, right?
Just jokes. I got to give you some griff. You know?
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
Last day.
So do we have Bill yet or no?
We're working on it.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
In the meantime, before we get to Bill, just a couple of Pistons notes. Pistons host the 76ers tonight. Maz is going to that game, by the way.
Okay.
Cade Cunningham, news today, will be in the three-point contest. So it'll be good to see. Well, who cares? It's kind of like Brandon Inge being in the home run contest, but it'll be good to see a local. When's the last time a Detroit Piston was in any contest?
Andre Drummond.
Was he in the slam dunk competition? Twice. He was, wasn't he?
Twice.
God, I forgot he was even a Piston.
Crazy.
I think. You know what's funny? For his career,
Max.
He got lucky because he actually made the All-Star, which is probably gonna go down in history as the coldest All-Star game because it was Kobe's last one.
Oh,
that infamous one with Kobe
LeBron,
and them had that
Drake
moment.
in the background randomly.
Drummond was on that team. That was the one. So Drake was like, Drake, sit your ass down.
Right?
Sit down.
Greatest sports picture ever.
Here Drake. Drake almost put a little mama in that moment, man.
Pretty cool stuff, though. Yeah. But it'll be good to see, I think, Cade Cunningham. And just to be on that stage and
just
involved.
See him on the TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we know who Cade Cunningham is, but it'll be an introduction of Cade Cunningham to the NBA fans, I think.
It's funny you say that. Remember the infamous Vince Carter slam dunk contest, 2000? You know who else was in that slam dunk contest? Jerry Stackhouse. And I remember as a kid, one, what was he doing here? But then two, it was good to see a Pistons because that was that period where you had, Bad Boy Pistons ended in, 92, 93? And then you were kind of bad for a while or stagnant. So in 2000 when he was in the contest, I still remember the dunk he did. He did like the two-hand dunk. But anyway, it was good to see a Piston in the All-Star game being involved.
Full field NBA three-point contest at the All-Star weekend. Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Cam Johnson. Huh?
Buddy Hill's going to win.
Damian Lillard and Norman Powell. So that is your NBA three-point contest. Let's get to the VMix line. Our guy. We love this guy. Haven't talked to him in quite some time, and I don't know why. We blame you, Tom Mazaway.
Yeah,
the great Bill Keenist, Lions historian, longtime Lions executive, NFL game rep. How you doing, Mr. Keenist?
What's up, Billy?
Front and center.
I don't
Hey, Braylon.
Oh, there
hey,
we go.
Ryan.
There
Hey, BK.
How's it going, my man? Hey, congratulations,
it's
too,
going
by
well.
the way. Hall of Fame
Hall
for
of Fame,
you.
baby.
Yeah, baby. Hall of Fame. Can you believe it?
Big guy.
Congratulations.
Oh, there it is again.
Something's going on.
Say
Oh, there
this.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I thank you, and it's profoundly humbling, but you think about people.
You keep muting yourself, I think. You're muting yourself, BK.
He's got AirPods in.
Billy.
Oh.
Hey.
That radio's cool.
And we just lost Billy. We'll get Billy, but I feel like we were having a moment there too. But there probably
We'll redo it.
Yeah, there probably isn't a human being on earth that knows more about the Detroit Lions than this guy.
That's a fact.
Can I say something about the rundown?
Yeah.
You really are. You just hate LeBron, don't you? You hate LeBron, don't you?
Why? What did I do? I hate him, but why?
LeBron dropped 42, 17, and 8 as a 40-year-old man.
I don't care. Who cares?
It's not in the mentions one time.
You and Ansa could do that show.
Come on, man.
You just mentioned it.
But that's what we cover, though. NBA a little bit from time to time. LeBron James,
him.
4 games in a row since the trade. Luka hasn't even played yet. 42 points as a 40-year-old.
That's good. Good for him.
This is Tom Brady. He's like, oh, my God, Brady. He's 40 years old. He's still throwing touchdowns.
I hate Brady. What are you talking to What are you talking to me for?
Maz, let's go around the NFL until we get Keenest back, okay?
Yeah,
Shall
sure.
we? How about we do that?
I can do that. Let's see. What do I have? I got Josh Jacobs speaking a couple of days ago. Green Bay's Josh Jacobs.
Oh, never mind. We got Billy back.
No. I was letting him know that I was good to go on his cut.
Oh, okay. Thumbs up. All right.
So Josh Jacobs was cornered, and they asked Josh, hey, the Packers coming up. What do you guys need? You guys are 1 player away? He's like, oh, no, we're like 3 players away. Listen to Josh Jacobs.
That, and then obviously we got a really young group of receivers. All can be really, really, really special, but I think personally we need a guy that's proven to be a number 1 already. So somebody that's we know is going to be a little bit more consistent.
That maybe played here before?
If he come at the right price. If he come at the right price, tell him to slide. You know, I've had them talk some tape.
Josh, great work. Open the recruit, we appreciate that effort. Hey, one final thing, man.
Oh, Josh Jacobs says we need a number 1 wide receiver, Bray.
I think
he's got 3 good guys, though.
But I think he's on to something. Now, whether he should have said it or not, now that's a different story. But I think he's on to something. If you look at him, Romeo Dobbs can play the position. You know, Jaden Reed, he does some good things. But you don't have that guy that you believe in. If he's saying that this stems from practice, this stems from he doesn't see a guy leading that meeting room. He doesn't see a guy leading that group, a guy that they really can depend on in a big game. So I agree with him, but I wouldn't have said it.
Yeah. Back to Billy Keenest.
Yeah, let's get back to Bill Keenest now. Bill, I'm not sure how much you heard us say, but we're just so happy and thrilled for you to go into the Hall of Fame, my friend.
Thank you so much, and very, very humbling, as you can imagine. But one thing I want to say is you immediately think about your journey and people like each of you that allowed you to live a dream. And I always love working with you guys and still do. So I feel like you're a part of it. I truly do.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
You know, we were just having a conversation about the Hall of Fame, Bill, about the fact that Sterling Sharp is going in. 7 years he played. If Sterling Sharp is a Hall of Famer, what do you make of the lack of love for Herman Moore?
Amen. I mean, I think there's some factors logically at play. Obviously, Sterling's brother being there and being in the media probably certainly doesn't hurt. But when you look at Sterling's numbers compared to Herman's, in some respects, there's no comparison. There's some, but if that's a great point, Ryan. If Sterling's career body of work warrant the Hall of Fame, Herman's absolutely does.
Yeah, Bill, and it's funny, that's what I've actually been saying. You know, Shannon Sharp's on ESPN all the time talking about my brother. And it's part of the reason. But I bring back to the Herman Moore situation. The Lions have been bad for eternity. Now that they're good, I think it sheds more light on players that should be in. It's always a politics. I think next year if the Lions get to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl, now you start to see some other players come on the docket, and maybe a Herman Moore or a Lomas Brown because of the Lions. It's always attached to politics. Just like Eric Allen, he played for the Eagles. The Eagles are in the championship.
Yep.
Like, I remember they would not let Tony Baselli in. Like, they just would not let Tony Baselli in. But then when the Jaguars played against the Patriots in the AFC Championship, guess what? Tony Baselli got in the Hall of Fame that year. So it's attached to politics a little bit.
It is, Braylon. And, I mean, there's so many great players that are so deserving. And hopefully they will get in. But Lomas, my goodness, his career stacks up against almost every O-lineman in the Hall of Fame. Not only duration, but Pro Bowls, All-Pro, played in 2 Super Bowls. It's mind-numbing at times, but as long as there's a chance, and I think your point is exceptional that, you know, the team you're with does have an impact. And with the Lions getting more and more national exposure the last couple of years, it should, and hopefully it will, help the Hermans and Lomases of the world, no doubt.
Bill, speaking of the Lions, how would you characterize this season? Because I feel, and I've talked about this before, something broke me this year. I mean, I was absolutely certain that they were at least going to make it to the Super Bowl, and I don't know if I'll ever get over it. I really don't.
Well, I understand that, and I think everybody felt that way. And there's different prisms through which you can what happened. I mean, the season was remarkable in so many ways, but you know, it was like, you know, the bell's about to ring with respect to all the injuries. When's it going to ring defensively? And it truly is amazing that Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell held the team together defensively in particular as much as they did. I mean, it's remarkable. But I mean, when you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And I worked the Washington game for the NFL, and there was an eerie uneasiness that I sensed, at least in the stadium. I mean, people were sort of not even giving that game a thought. We're waiting on next week. We're waiting on the NFC Championship game, and I also believe that the Commanders picked up on that. I mean, they read the papers, the comments. You know, we're dealing with human beings. Braylon knows that you're human. You're going to react. And the way that young man played quarterback for Washington, that's generational, my friends. I mean, have we ever seen a rookie do what that young man did? I haven't. In the biggest games, you know, at the most critical points in those games. And I'll tell you another thing that when I said this a few times and people laughed at me, including my own sons, Billy and Chris. But I was concerned, and Braylon can speak to this. I was concerned, not over the moon concerned, but the fact that we were playing at Ford Field, where weather was not going to be an issue. You weren't going to have a turf issue, a field issue, a wind issue, a temperature issue. So you're playing in pristine conditions for a team like Washington, whose quarterback is exceptionally athletic. Terry McLaurin, I think, is as good a receiver as there is in the league. They got a young but talented, you know, back seven that can run. So, and the more I thought of this going into the game, I thought I'm going to do a little research. And then I find out that Washington was 5-0 in indoor games this past year. 5-0. So they obviously adapted well to those conditions. So what I really thought, and we've all talked about it, was you know, using the running game. We probably left that too soon.
Yep.
But how do I look at the year? Gosh, I mean, it was disappointing. in the sense that we all expected for you guys to be in New Orleans this week.
Yep.
That's what we expected.
Amen.
That would have been a lot of fun. You're absolutely correct. And you can ask the guys here, Bill. The team that I didn't want to play, I said the Commanders. I said because it's the unknown, it's the quarterback that's running around, and he's just hot right now. I didn't want to play against him. I didn't think they were going to win, but I didn't want to play against him. I have never seen a rookie lead and be poised like that. In 2012, I played on the Seattle Seahawks. In that season, there was a rookie, Russell Wilson, goes to the second round of the playoffs. We lose to the Falcons. But they didn't give Russell Wilson the type of onus. They didn't give him the control of the game like that. Russell was definitely handing the ball off to beast mode, and then we will play action pass and throw the ball to the tight end. Not a lot on Russell. They played great defense, and you played to Marshawn Lynch. Jaden Daniels is the reason why they got as far as they did in the playoffs. He came in and he beat the Detroit Lions. Defense banged up, but doesn't matter. He was the guy that won that game. I had never seen anything like that because I can only imagine if they would have given Russell that type of control in 2012, we would have got waxed in the first round. So you're absolutely right about that, Ryan.
Yeah, I agree. They go to Philly the next week, kept it close for a half at least, but the Eagles are a really good football team. And with Saquon Barkley there, my goodness, I mean, he has done so much for that team, not only offensively, but defensively as well. Okay. And field position, special teams as well. And I don't think there was any player in the league. And obviously the awards were presented last night. But for me, I don't think there was any player in the league that was more important, more valuable to his team this year than Saquon. He was phenomenal. And I think he'll continue on Sunday. I really do.
Let me get back to the Lions for a second, just in this year, because we talk about the window so much, the Super Bowl window. Last year, you were 30 minutes away, maybe one possession away from a Super Bowl. This year, you didn't even get back to an NFC championship game. It felt like this NFC was ripe for the Lions to just ram their heads through it. And now you've got Washington with Jaden Daniels. You've got Chicago with Ben Johnson. You've got Minnesota. You've got Green Bay. You've got San Francisco. I don't think San Francisco is going to be done. You've got Philadelphia. It feels you've got Myles Garrett out there. Heaven forbid he go to Chicago or Green Bay or Minnesota or Washington or something like that. It feels like that window that was wide open, Bill, is slowly but surely shrinking. Are we making too much of that? Should we all pause, or what do you make of it?
I think it's a great point, Ryan. And, go back to the championship game in San Francisco. And we all remember, and it was often repeated, what Dan Campbell said after that game. And I was surprised he said it. I agreed with it, like probably anybody. I'm certainly Braylon can relate to it. It's hard to get back to where they were. It's really hard. But I think this past season, you had, as much as the injuries hurt them, you had other factors that were benefiting the team. The schedule wasn't, at least at this point, as we compare the two, the schedule isn't as difficult as next year's appears to be. I mean, that road schedule next year is brutal. As we sit here today, a lot of things can change. But, and you mentioned all those teams, Ryan. How about Atlanta and Michael Penix?
There you go.
At the end of the year.
Yep.
I mean, the NFC is going to be a bear next year. Hopefully not literally, but figuratively. And every team goes through transition and change. I mean, the rosters change 30, 40%, but I don't recall a coaching staff changing as much as the Lions when you think about it, to lose that many coaches. Now, what does that mean?
That was my next question.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting because each of those coaches, the likelihood of them taking Lion free agent players with them is greater because they know them as well as anybody in the league. So you're going to probably see more free agents leave this year because of the coaches that are elsewhere. But as long as you have Brad Holmes, who has done nothing but the right thing, and Dan Campbell, we will the fans here will have no reason not to lose faith. But is it going to be harder? I think it is going to be harder. The team could be better next year and not have as good a record. I think that's probably likely. But who knows? As you three know, what we're talking about today is going to be different after free agency. It's going to be different after the draft, and it's going to be different after mini camps and training camps.
Bill, you've been a part of this league, and I don't know what the number is. Maybe it's part of 5 decades. When you have, and I think Ben Johnson, because the Lions' offense really sputtered in that game against Washington, and then you see him 36 hours later take a head coaching job. Can the NFL do a better job about the way they approach interviewing for coaches? Because I think it's human nature. And I'm not saying Ben Johnson threw a game or anything like that, but if you've prepared for an interview before, hell, I've seen my wife prepare for interviews at General Motors. The studying that goes into these interviews is insane, and it eats up a lot of bandwidth. I can't imagine a guy go into an interview with a pro football team and you're not studying the roster. You're not building a coaching staff. You're not looking at every current player and future player that you could bring to the table. It does eat up a lot of time. It looks bad. Can the NFL do anything to kind of stymie, essentially, when these coaches interview? I mean, you look at Kellen Moore has decided not to interview. Cliff Kingsbury decided not to interview with teams. We've seen a number of assistant coaches. Joe Brady did not interview with teams during their run. What do you make of that aspect of it and the fact that Ben Johnson felt like a little bit of a fall guy there?
Well, I think the reality is this type of thing has been going on for as long as I've been in the league. It really has. And assistant coaches communicate throughout the year with their colleagues and even other teams in some respects, not inappropriately, just logically. I mean, you're going to see head coaches, you're going to see GMs, you're going to see personnel people on the field before every game. You're going to see, people throughout the year at the combine. You're going to see everybody. And with respect to Ben Johnson, in many respects, he's sort of been preparing for this for the last 3 years because his name was out there. So it should not have been dramatically different for him. And any head coach, let me correct that. Any assistant coach, any coordinator that has aspirations to be a head coach is going to have a hot list of assistants, is going to have a staff, not complete, but they're going to have an idea who they want to be on their staff. And rest assured, over the years, they've communicated that to their colleagues. So is there a better way? Perhaps. But, if the league were to institute a new protocol where it's no communication until after the Super Bowl, I mean, you're dealing with highly competitive people in the most competitive professional sport league there is, into the biggest league there is. And to assume there won't be, communication, I think is unrealistic. It really comes down to the individual and the team and any parameters they may set. But it's a tough nut. It really is a tough nut to crack, because if a head coach issues an edict, how is that going to play publicly, when he has to hire some new assistants or coordinators? So it's a real fine line. But let me say this. These guys are so competitive, okay? What Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn wanted to do more than anything, okay, when they, if you assume that it was pretty much a fait accompli that Ben's going to Chicago and Aaron's going to the Jets, they wanted to go there as Super Bowl champions. Absolutely, 100%. So it's a unique reality, but do I have an answer to it? Not really, because it's been going on for as long as I can remember.
Hey, Billy, I'm looking at that Rams helmet behind you, and I know that's a Stafford helmet. I wanted to talk about Matthew, and the word on the street is Cooper Kupp is on the trading block. So Kelly, they're very close in their families, and she came out and said, hey, there's a rumor out there that you want to trade my husband Matthew as well. Sean McVay might want to get a younger guy. Who knows? But they're like almost like a package deal. Do you see Matthew Stafford getting traded, and where do you see him going, and who can he help win a Super Bowl instantly with?
Well, I think he can help many teams win a Super Bowl, including the Rams. I mean, the way they came on, that young defense, I mean, holy mackerel.
Yep.
They are approaching where they were before they traded for Matthew. But in a salary cap era, and you can't fault the Rams. I mean, they went all in and got Matthew and Von Miller and OBJ and all those great players, and they won a Super Bowl. Then they took a step back, and now they're right on the brink again. I mean, they gave the Eagles a pretty darn tough game in Philly.
Yep.
Easily. I mean, not easily, but it was a one-possession game late in the fourth quarter. So do I think Matthew could help teams? Absolutely. I think, I mean, I'm biased, but I still think he is as good as any. His leadership, his knowledge is as good as any in the league. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the Rams with, the salary cap era, the comments that have been made about Cooper Kupp, and now the buzz about Matthew. But if you're a team like the Rams were back in 21 that felt all we need is a quarterback, and if that's true, he'd be the first call I'd ever make in a heartbeat.
Hey, honest answer real quick. Goff or Stafford as a Lion? Who would you rather have right now?
Well, you know what? I've been asked that a lot over the years. It's almost impossible because the team is so different. I mean, I will always go to war with Matthew because I know him and I saw what he did. And here's something that you guys probably know and maybe forgot. But, back when Matthew was with us, and the Lions had historically one of the worst running games ever. Okay. And there was a common thread for teams that got to championship games and got to Super Bowls. And that was a running game, at least middle of the pack or higher. I did some research over a 10-year period, and the only outlier to that, not surprisingly, was Tom Brady and the Patriots. Okay. He was the unicorn. The Patriots were the unicorn team. But every other team that went to that level not only had great quarterback, they had a great running game. Now listen to this. If this doesn't say it all, statistically, and I believe it would be the same today, an NFL team during the course of a season has a running back rush for over 100 yards in about 8 games. It might be higher now. I'm not sure. But back when I did the research, on average, it was about 8 games a year. Matthew's first 9 years in the league with the Lions, we had running backs that ran over 100 yards 7 times. That's it. 7 times in 9 years.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Well, you got Calvin Johnson. Yeah. And we got Matthew Stafford. Yeah. But the defenses know we got Matthew Stafford and we got Calvin Johnson. And we tried. I mean, we had really good performances from Joyce Bell and Reggie Bush, but consistently for a number of years, we weren't close. So when you compare the two with the running game the Lions have now, I mean, holy mackerel, one of the best in the league. It's hard. It's hard. But I will say this, you got to give Jared Goff his props. I mean, what he has done, and go back to what Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says it is. And 15-2, I mean, historical. But like I said, I will always be biased toward Matthew, and that ain't going to change. But that doesn't mean the Lions have won with Jared, and I believe they'll continue to win with him.
It's funny you say that, Bill, because we just had this conversation yesterday about I never considered Matthew Stafford when he was here in Detroit a top 5 or top 6 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, top 10, top 12, sure, absolutely. But since he's left Detroit, I do consider him a top 5, top 6 quarterback in the NFL, and perhaps it could be as simple as the fact that he's got a little bit of a semblance of a run game now.
Well, I believe that, and it's a combination of things, obviously. Here's the other thing that I think is very applicable here, comparing Matthew's era with the current era of the Lions and the NFL. Back when the Lions drafted Matthew, inexplicably, in my opinion, we were still without a rookie wage scale. So you draft Calvin Johnson in 2007. He's the highest paid player on the team. He hasn't played a down yet in the NFL, but he's the highest paid player on the team. You draft Matthew in 2009, he's the highest paid player.
Mm-hmm.
You draft Sue a year later, he's the highest paid player. There was no logic to how much the rookies were, especially the top picks, especially the top 10 picks, like we had too many of back then. So your salary cap percentage-wise is going to an exorbitant amount for younger players. Unlike now, when the league has a rookie wage scale. So you draft the players like Hutchinson and others, and Jahmyr Gibbs and other, first-round picks, but you're not paying them like their previous generation of first-round picks were paid. What does that mean? It means Brad Holmes has more cap to work his magic because, as Braylon knows all too well, the NFL is a game of attrition and depth. And teams that have the best depth, which you can acquire now because you have more money cap-wise than the Lions of the Matthew Stafford era did, you can build a roster that can withstand some of the injuries to a degree. But it's a different game, and I think that also adversely affected Matthew and the teams that he played with.
Hey, Bill, let me ask you about Lions fans right now, us included, are all in on Myles Garrett. Whatever you want, take the picks. I mean, if you look at this roster, I mean, is there any rookie that's going to make this roster or impact this roster right now? So a lot of Lions fans are in the mode of F them picks like the Rams did to win their Super Bowl. Do you think the Lions are in a position, or Brad Holmes is the type of general manager to say, you know what, we are one player away. We are going to go all in, try to get this player, have Garrett, Hutchinson, and then I don't even know if you need the rest of the other 9 guys on defense at that point. But can you imagine Garrett, McNeil, Hutchinson along the defensive line, what that would do for this team? And is Brad Holmes the type of GM to go out and get that done?
I will say this. I am profoundly impressed with Brad Holmes. And do I know all the intricacies of trying to sign a player like Myles Garrett? No. It's not only the salary cap this year, it's for future years. So I can't answer that. Myles Garrett is a generational player. There's no question about that. Generational player. Wherever he goes, he's going to make that team, exponentially better. I mean, it's except what the impact would be on the cap, right? And what you might have to give up to trade for him. But those in favor would say, okay, let's go all in. Let's use the Rams in 21 as a model. And, this is our window right here. And that defensive line would probably be unstoppable when you think about it. Pick your poison, right? Pick your poison. But those would all, then the opposite of that is, if it weren't for the injuries last year, and every team has injuries, but none had to the level that the Lions did last year. That was so unique and in many respects unprecedented to have that many starters on defense lose games to injuries. So, they haven't got to the combine yet. They're probably still putting their boards together, pending the combine grades and all that. So it's so hard to say. Football is the consummate team game. It's the sum of the whole, not the sum of the parts. And I will argue and defend that forever and a day. So what would it take? What would it cost to get a Myles Garrett? I don't know that. But I assure you, from what I know of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they're going to do everything they can to get to the promised land, whatever that means, however, whatever the journey might be. But it's certainly, going to make for a lot of great conjecture and discussion as we get through the Super Bowl and into free agency and the trade period.
First and foremost, Mr. Bill Keenan, I want to say congratulations on your NFL Hall of Fame nomination. Your induction, 100% deserved. I just want to say, as a friend of yours, congratulations.
Thank you so much, B. Like I said, it's profoundly humbling, and I don't know what else to say. It's just overwhelming. But it's like I told you, you think about your journey, and you think about all the people that you worked with over the years, and I certainly thought about and think about you guys. And the best part for me was when I was able to tell my children, and because kids, as you know, B, as you know, Ryan, in our business, our families sacrifice
a lot,
and mine sure did. But to see their reaction, my two sons and my daughter, that was worth every bit of the work and the effort that went into it.
All right, Bill, there is another game going on this week, so let's talk about it for a brief second. Are you on the side of history, which is Patrick Mahomes winning his third and being the first quarterback to ever three-peat in the NFL, or are you on the side of the underdog in the story that is Saquon Barkley being discarded, Jalen Hurts isn't the starting quarterback in this league, blah, 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 Nick Sirianni? Are you on the side of history, or are you on the side of the storyline, the underdog?
Gosh, Braylon, I don't know yet. I will say this. I worked the Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Giants in Phoenix. I think it was in Phoenix.
I was there.
When the Patriots were going for the perfect season.
Yeah.
Right? And I was, even though we're obviously impartial when we're working the game, I was sort of pulling for that because I thought, how neat would it be to be working this game where the Patriots eclipsed the Miami Dolphins, the 1972 Dolphins, and finish this season perfect. I mean, I probably would never see that again in my life. So back then I was a part of history, but I just am so enamored with the Eagles and how they rebounded when they lost their two coordinators a couple years ago, as we know.
Steichen
and I can't help but just think of Saquon Barkley. And let me share something with you. As great as he is on the field, we've all seen that, right? The thing that gave me goosebumps and maybe even some tears was in that championship when the running back with the kid from Clemson, Shipley, is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah, Shipley. Yeah.
Yeah. So late in the game, the twos and threes are in the game for the Eagles, and Shipley breaks off a 50-yard run. And they had a camera on Barkley. You know, the brilliant producer director at Fox had a camera on him. And when that kid broke through the line, you see Saquon running down the field parallel to him with a smile on his face. He was so happy for his teammate. And then a couple plays later, the rookie scores. Who's the first person on the field? Genuine love and emotion for his teammate. It was Saquon Barkley.
Awesome.
And that got me, man. I'm thinking this guy is beyond special, not only as a player, but as a human being. And on a personal note, his rookie year, when he was with the Giants, we, the Lions, played them in the first preseason game. And my counterpart from the Giants had reached out to me before the before the game and asked if Barry was going to be there. And I'm not sure if he was or wasn't, but I reached out to Barry, blah, blah, blah. So Barry was at the game because Saquon wanted to meet Barry Sanders.
Oh.
So we're right off the tunnel when the Giants came down, and Saquon, and he was as kind and as polite and as genuine a young man as you'll ever want to meet. And I never forgot that. He left an impression on me. So what do I want? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I just want a great game, obviously, because in my role now with the NFL, we root for ratings. History would be great. But I think if you're a Lions fan, when you realize what the Eagles went through losing both coordinators a couple years ago and how quickly they turned it around, the impact of a great running game, which the Lions have, Darius Slay, he's always going to be a favorite of the Lions fans. I'm not one or the other, but I think if I had to make a choice, I'd probably go with the NFC and the Eagles, primarily because of, how the team has come together, and certainly how they ended last year. Think about how the Eagles ended last year. Very devastating loss in the playoffs to Tampa. Not a lot different than what the Lions did this year. So anything can happen.
Billy, we gotta let you go, but I can't let you go without showing that prized possession of yours from your first Super Bowl when you were with the Washington Redskins, and the tickets were not as expensive as they are nowadays. Tell us about that and show us what you got.
Up. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Wow.
Hey.
Yeah. Now, and Tommy Maz is not allowed to participate because we talked earlier, but Ryan and Braylon, guess how much the face value of that ticket was? It was at the Rose Bowl. Every single seat in the Rose Bowl, much like Michigan Stadium is configured, was the same price. Guess how much those tickets were?
$20.
This is Price is Right, I guess. Braylon?
Okay. $38.
Wow. Very good. Braylon wins.
No.
$40.
$40.
And I stayed under.
There you go.
I guess
Braylon
you could have said $21.
I guess 35. I was $5 off.
38. I'll take it for the win.
You win a brand new car.
Hey, Bill, thanks for spending so much time with us, Bill.
Love you,
we
Billy.
Absolutely love you. We're your
Congratulations.
fans. Congratulations on the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
That's your new nickname now. It's Hall of Fame Bill. Only
What's up,
answer
Billy?
to Hall of Fame Bill.
The great Bill Keenis,
Go
ladies
Eagles.
and gentlemen. We'll take a break. Come right back. More Ermanni and Edwards with Maz when we return. But first, a message from Sabbath Coffee.
Buddy, Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Once I find it, there you go. And when you are ready when you're gearing up for a big sports afternoon or just savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
From
Ricky.
coffee to liquor. Have you heard of a long drink? It's Friday. You're probably about to go to the bar. You should ask the bartender about that gin-based cocktail. Well, we've got one made right here in Michigan, made with all natural ingredients for better flavor. It's called Taller, the Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company. It is shoulders above the rest, made right here in Michigan, made from New Holland small batch gin, 100% real grapefruit puree for a fresh, delicious flavor. Go get you a Taller. It is your local long drink.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Everybody, it's Super Bowl weekend, so now's the perfect time to scan that QR code above my head and get yourself your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. And when you scan that QR code, use the code word Woodward1000 with that brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Deposit at least $20, make a bet of $20 or more, and if that first bet happens to lose, it won't, but if it does happen to lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account.
Hey, look, after you get your bets in, make sure that you get your wings in for the Super Bowl, the big game as it's now called. Signature wings, limited time only at Soroka's. You got to get these wings, man. You got to make sure, put in your call ahead of time, man. You want to have these wings on Super Bowl Sunday as well as the crispy chicken and the pizza. This is where the real fans' favorite, so this is where you want to pull up. I'm telling you, you better book it now. No way to celebrate that Caesars bet better than winning some of these signature wings from Soroka's.
With some biscuits?
Ooh, get those
stop
biscuits.
it.
You know this will be the first Super Bowl that I have like placed the wager on.
Oh, really?
I stopped betting. Like, see, 21 I bet, 22, 23, this will be the first one.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
My pocket's itching.
Yeah, I bet.
My
I bet they are.
pocket's itching.
I bet they are.
There's still time. There's still time.
Some guy just put
No,
29 grand on tails.
I'm down.
Some guy just bet 29,000 on the coin coming up tails.
Oh, wow.
If I was a betting man, I would take a run at DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I would just do a parlay. I would do KC wins, maybe a touchdown Patrick Mahomes. I think DeAndre Hopkins goes over on his yards, which is like 13. Over on his catches, which is 1.5. I think he scores a touchdown. That would be my parlay if I was betting. But I am not a betting man. Tom Mazaway, you want to do some Super Bowl trivia to end Friday? KG's last day on the desk.
Let's go around.
I love that we got three brothers on in Black History Month. And let's go.
Shout out, man. We getting somewhere. We getting somewhere.
I had a dream.
Look at man.
Three brothers would be on Woodward Sports at the same time.
Here we go. Tom Mazaway, a little Super Bowl trivia. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask everybody a question. You all can jump in if you want to. Here's the question. What team has played in 4 Super Bowls but never held a lead?
Never held a lead.
They never held a lead. They played 4 Super Bowls.
The Vikings?
Damn. Yeah, it is.
Hey, look at your boy. I knew it wasn't the Bills.
I knew it wasn't the Bills. That was what I was about to say. But
Nice
I
job.
I got you.
Nice job,
That look
KG.
over, like. All right, cool. What teams have won? We know that. We know that answer. The teams have appeared most. We know that answer too. Which team? Which Super Bowl halftime show preceded a stadium blackout?
Oh, that was
that was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Wasn't that was that J-Lo and
No, that was San Francisco, Baltimore.
Okay, so who was the halftime time?
it was J-Lo and Shakira, wasn't it?
It was a female, but it was not.
Beyonce.
There it is.
Oh, it was
J-Lo,
Beyonce.
and then she bought out Destiny's Child, I do believe.
wow. Yep. There you go.
Okay, Maz, this might be a question for you. How much does the Lombardi Trophy weigh?
Oh, wow. I'd say, I'd just guess.
Stomp the Maz.
Yeah, we got it.
20 pounds.
Okay, Maz, it's inside of 10. If it
I was about to
Really?
say
It's less than 10?
I was about to say 5 is my guess.
7.
And it is 7 pounds.
Wow.
No
Nice
Will
job.
Smith.
I would have guessed like 50. I'm
Yeah,
not
look, way
No, you
heavier
could tell,
than that.
You could tell
Which
the
famous-
way
It's a one-hander.
when
It
these,
is.
when,
That's
when,
a-
Bray,
7
when you and
pound.
your other fellow players lift that thing, you can tell that it's like
It's
a
easy.
lighter weight. You can
Yeah,
see.
but they all
yeah.
strong, so I never.
Right. They look heavy to me. Hey.
7 pounds.
Which two cities, and they don't have an answer for how many times, but which two cities have hosted the most Super Bowl?
Miami,
Atlanta.
New Orleans.
Tom Mazaway.
Wow.
Is now on board. You got
Okay,
both.
man.
New Orleans.
Shout out
He's
to
been
Tom
all-
I
Mazaway.
wouldn't
That's
guess
why.
Miami for sure.
The Superdome.
Who won the infamous Super Bowl? Oh, excuse me. Who won the Super Bowl of the infamous wardrobe malfunction?
Oh, that's
The Patriots.
Oh,
The Patriots.
Kenny G in the building.
I will never ever forget that Super Bowl.
Kenny
man.
G
None
in
of
the
us will.
building.
Yep.
None of
Who'd
us
they
will.
play?
They played
The Eagles.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, was it? It was the Eagles.
It was the
Janet
Eagles.
Jackson,
It was the
right?
TL
Yep.
Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
I
TL
blame
Jackson.
Justin Timberlake. I still blame Justin Timberlake.
No, it was Justin
Hey,
Timberlake's
Justin Timberlake is real quiet.
I'm
when
gonna
he talks
have you
about it,
nigga
too.
by the end of this song.
did.
Wow, I'd never forget it.
I was like,
yeah, that was
he just
crazy.
ripped that
I just
thing off,
froze.
man.
Yeah,
Actually, I went to that Super Bowl because this year I was getting drafted.
Oh, really?
So I went down there, and what you do is you do media row, you do interviews. I went to a couple parties. Your agent tries to sell you sponsorship deals and things like that. And then I flew back like 7 a.m. Sunday and came back and watched Super Bowl literally down the street. And I was like, is that a booby out?
it was quick too. They hurry up and got it off the screen, man. I'll never
100%.
forget it.
What city hosted the coldest Super Bowl ever?
Detroit.
New York.
Bay.
No. You talking outdoors? I would say it's Tulane Stadium, New Orleans.
Tom Mazaway is on fire.
New Orleans?
Yeah,
It is
New
New
played
Orleans.
outdoors because the Superdome wasn't ready yet.
Oh,
It was the Dolphins
got
and the
it.
Vikings.
Ooh,
Wow.
Look at
Tom
that.
Mazaway
Yeah,
and
man's
KG.
on fire, man.
I like this. We're going to keep this thing going. What was the first wild card team to win a Super Bowl?
Raiders.
Tom Mazaway.
Boy,
He-
yeah.
he took the lead on
Yeah,
that one.
he checking right now.
He took the lead on that
Dude,
one. Okay.
Tom.
I'm trying to give him. I'm giving man some of these old questions.
Right,
Let me
right.
see if I can bring some of this these newer.
I don't want
Which
new.
two
He's supposed
starting
to beat me.
quarterbacks
Don't
won
do.
Super Bowls with two different teams? That's easy.
Tom Brady.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner didn't win.
No.
Oh wait, what was the beginning of it?
Which two quarterbacks
Please
have
say-
won Super Bowls with two
won a
different
Super
teams?
Bowl.
Come on. If you
Yeah.
say Tom Brady,
Tom Brady.
it almost.
Yeah, Tom
Peyton
Brady
Manning.
is one.
There it is.
Oh,
Peyton
Peyton.
Manning.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when you say Tom,
Yeah,
it
I
kind of
couldn't
like
think
the
about. I had to
back
think
and
about
forth.
it. Yeah.
All right, let me
The
see.
Colts.
Let me see.
I forget he won with the Colts.
Who, Maz, this is for you. What solo singer first performed the national anthem at a Super Bowl?
Whitney.
No, at a Super Bowl. That was 91.
Read it again.
Which solo singer first performed the national anthem at the
Solo
Super
singer.
Bowl?
Diana Ross.
Did you say solo or
Solo.
soul?
Solo.
Oh, solo
1974.
Aretha Franklin?
74, so that would be
The first-
Dolphins and Vikings.
Oh, 74. Oh.
Maz knows, but
Yeah, that's
Charlie
all you
Pride.
guys.
Oh, wow.
Charlie Pride. I don't even know who that is.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean,
You can add that
All
one.
right.
I think he owe me money.
This is a guess question. So
He's
this is.
African American Charlie Pride.
I know who it is once you said it.
Okay, Maz. Look at you repping for Black History, but all right. I like it.
I love that. How many chicken wings are consumed
Oh, my God.
on Super
Oh,
Bowl
man.
Sunday?
Man,
Oh
don't
my
even
God.
ask me. Too many.
A billion.
But it's a guess, though.
How many
3
people
million.
watch the
Nah,
show?
A billion. It's got to be up there.
I was
It's
gonna
in
say,
the billions?
I don't think anybody else is gonna get it close.
No,
closer.
he's right because I
It's
mean,
gotta be
think
better.
about the audience.
a trillion?
No,
yeah.
he's right.
Yeah.
It's 1.4 billion.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
that's
I'm eating
fine.
1,000, so that's
Oh yeah,
1,000 going
dude.
in.
The
It's a
chicken
lot
How
of
wing.
many-
chicken, man.
How much do Americans spend on beer per average on
yeah,
Super
now
Bowl
that's-
Sundays?
Oh, that's
God.
gotta be, dude. That's gotta be at least 2 million.
More than that.
I'm gonna stick with a
talking
I
about
mean,
this-
2 billion is what I meant.
Are
I
you
meant
talking
2
about
billion.
an American family or what the
Same,
whole?
no,
All
the
the- all the- all the-
totality.
all together.
I meant
So
2
the-
billion.
Ooh.
with a
50
B.
million plus.
Yeah, it's got to be 2
Easy.
billion. It's got to be.
I said
about
2 billion with a B.
It's less.
It's really
It's 1.3 billion.
Wow. Like, it's the same
The
amount.
fact that you got the wings, I was like, just guess the same thing.
Right.
Just
Guess
guess the same thing.
That's crazy. The same amount of beer and that's
Dude, that's
man.
that's right. Yeah.
You're drunk.
Hold on, while you're talking about food, Pete, put up that thing, top 10 Super Bowl foods.
Oh, sure. Hang on, buddy. Here you
Put
go.
that up. Just take a look at them, guys. These are the top
wings,
10
Let me zoom in.
Super Bowl foods. How many of these are you guys going to eat?
Oh, hang on a
How
second.
many of these are you going to eat this Sunday?
1,
2, yeah,
3,
1, 2, 3.
Call them all off for people that can't
All right,
see.
here we go.
1, 2, 3, 5.
All right, here we go.
All right.
1 is wings. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have those. 2 is pizza. No. 3 is chips and dip. Everybody's gonna have a chip and dip. That's 2 for me. 4 is nachos. That's 3 for me. 5 is sliders.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but I'm gonna say no. Loaded potato skins.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Pigs in a blanket? Yes.
No, not
yes,
for me.
for us.
Hey, I'm not
Okay,
eating.
he
We
said
make
for
them.
us.
Right.
8 is chili.
No.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't think
definitely gonna eat me some
9
chili.
is meatball.
Possibly.
Hell yeah.
I'm
And
glad.
10 is cupcakes and
Cocktail meatballs.
You know what my
are the
favorite
best.
is?
Yeah.
What?
Everyone gets them out of the freezer in Kroger. Get the big pack out of the freezer at Kroger.
The
meatballs?
Tortino's pizza rolls.
What you talking about?
No, the meatballs.
What do you got, Pete?
The Tortino's pizza rolls.
Pizza
Oh,
rolls.
Pizza
baby.
rolls. Wow.
There you
Give me
go.
pizza
Pizza
rolls.
rolls at the Mazaway household.
Hell yeah.
I
Pizza
got bring.
rolls.
He loves
I got
his
bring my
pizza
own
rolls.
snacks.
Combo pack.
Right.
He loves his
What do
pizza
I like?
rolls.
What was that snide comment?
He bringing his own food, man. That's what he said. He bringing his own plate.
Mask caught me.
Right.
I'm not trying to whisper.
Combo
Man.
platter.
We
He
tried.
definitely
We
caught
tried.
me. All right, here we
Sampler
go.
plate.
How much did a ticket cost to the very first Super Bowl? I feel like Bill
$2.
Kings would have been
$20.
good.
Tom, $5,
30.
right?
30. We got 20.
Honestly,
It can't be no
$7.
more than 50.
Got a 7. Pause.
I'm gonna say 5. I'm going low.
So 2.5.
This is at the
Yeah.
LA
Oh, my bad.
Coliseum.
My bad. I didn't know he went 5
7.
already.
You got another guess.
All right,
He said-
$10. I'll go 10. 10.
He just won.
Hey.
$10.
12.
$12.
$12.
Nice.
He gets 10. So 100%.
At the Coliseum where they put 100,000 people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't
Now, I
lose
think
the
I told
days.
you guys this before.
Tom, you
Yeah.
would have got
What did I
5.
pay for Super Bowl 40 tickets? Face value, 50-yard line behind the Steelers bench.
$100.
talking about
Face
one
value.
downtown?
$150.
Super Bowl 40.
Super Bowl
No,
4.
Super Bowl 40.
Oh, the one here in Detroit.
Yeah, the one
So
here.
20
Oh, the
years
one
ago.
here.
Yeah, 19 years ago.
I want to say you paid, is it $270?
You said sideline seats?
No,
Yeah,
no, 50.
Right behind the Steelers bench on the 50-yard line.
5,000.
Oh, you paid it.
Dude,
At least
20 rows up.
400.
$500.
Face value for that seat was $650.
650.
Oh,
$650.
Not bad.
Not too far.
19 years later, and the face value is like 3,000, 4,000,
Inflation.
5,000, maybe more face value for that seat.
Inflation
It
is
ain't
Unbelievable.
inflation. That's
It's just
supply and
19
demand.
years.
It's crazy.
Super Bowl XL IV beat out what to become the most watched television program?
MASH finale.
How do you
Wow.
come on, man?
Because the MASH finale
and
was-
finale.
yeah.
One,
Who watches MASH, bro?
I
That's the
used to
most
back in the
boring
day.
show.
I
You know
hated
what,
it.
You know what MASH
Yeah,
was?
like,
when
I
I was a
hated
kid, MASH was a sign it's time you gotta go to bed.
Yeah. Right.
Like when you
Exactly.
dun, 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 dun.
No,
It's
60
bedtime.
minutes for me was like
Well,
hell.
Oh yeah.
To me, if I went to hell,
MASH
I
was-
would hear the 60 minutes clock.
Yeah.
Like MASH had a lot of
Dan
great
Rather
actors,
don't do it
but
for
it
you.
was just so slow. The color was mundane.
But it was the most watched.
Yeah,
It
100%.
was
It's
something
one of
you
those
was
things
watching.
that my dad would say, you just had to be there. Like,
Yeah.
you just had to be
Yeah,
there.
I guess,
We
yeah.
can't, I would never
I was
understand.
alive.
I
was
hated
like,
that show,
yeah.
too.
Murder,
It was
She
so
Wrote all
watched.
day. MASH.
There you go.
MASH came on after Star Trek.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. See if I got any more good ones, man. That might be it right there.
This
We got
could be the
2
last
minutes
one.
left.
Last one.
Make the
Devin
last one a
Hester
good
is the
one.
next one.
Make the last one a good one. Okay, see what we got
Give me
here.
something from the 70s.
Right, of course.
This MASH cleans up.
Play some OJs.
Right.
OJ never made a Super Bowl. Okay.
Here you go. What player holds the record for most career rushing yards in Super Bowl games? So this is the totality of his Super Bowl career. Whether that's 1, 2, 3, 4 games, or which player? So which running back, man?
Franco Harris.
And just like that, Maz is
Wow.
your
And that's the end of the
It's
story.
not even fair,
Right.
man.
He told me to find one for you. So, you know, a little gift
Oh
wrapping
my
right there for you.
Buddy.
Franco Harris, 354 yards.
You were the
Steelers
man.
in Super Bowls 9, 10, 8,
Tom's the man.
and 14.
Oh, he played in 4
9.
Super Bowls?
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
You're the
Yeah, they
man,
won
Not
Tommy.
bad, Franco.
4 for 4.
Thank you, guys.
49ers 4 for 4, and so are the
Happy
Steelers.
Super weekend,
Happy
everybody.
Super
Whatever
Sunday.
you got to do, Have fun doing it. We appreciate you guys. Yo, for my man KG.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for everything.
Hey, real
KG.
quick, it's not my last day at WSN, just my last day as the audio guy for E&E, man. But Ricky is going to do great things. Shout out to you, bro. Stepped in, and you already a star, man. You already a star.
Appreciate it,
But
KG.
it's your last one. You gonna end it.
KG, let's go.
Y'all know what it is. Ryan Ermanni done left already, so it's time for us to
Appreciate
go,
you, KG.
man. We will see y'all mañana. Have a great weekend. Let's go.
Go Eagles.